Yeah. All right, and we're live. All right, welcome to the ninth episode of Friendly Banter. Today we have a very special guest named Andrew. Today we're going to talk about some soccer stuff and some conspiracy theories for all you conspiracy theorist lovers. Oh yeah, so Andrew, can you give us a little introduction?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Andrew. Graduated from University of Waterloo, systems design. Uh, I'm a Manchester United fan, and yeah.
All right, nice. So yeah, so you mentioned you're a Man U fan. So can you tell us why you're such a Man U fan?
Okay, so I guess like for me, I got into soccer when I was really young because my parents signed me up for house league and all that,
Hmm.
and I wasn't really into it that much until like basically I started watching soccer because Uh, back in like '08, Manchester United were really good, and also they had a Korean on their team, and they were like every Korean like hyped him up. And it was Park Ji-sung. So like I guess like I started like looking up to him, and then I started like supporting him, and then ended up supporting the team that he was playing for as well, which was Manchester United.
Hmm.
And that's like how I guess like became a Manchester United fan.
True. Yeah. I always wondered, Koreans love soccer, but
Yeah.
they produce like one talent every decade. And like it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like how can I say this politely? Like soccer is not exactly their forte. So why are Koreans so in love with soccer?
Yeah, so I don't actually know why we're so in love with soccer, but I think it might stem from like the one World Cup we did really well in, where we went all the way to like the quarterfinals when we were hosting it, like in 2002 or 2001, I think.
Hmm.
Um, and then like I think after that, it just like kind of kept going. The momentum just kept going.
Fair, 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 fair. So on the reverse side of that, why do you think soccer is so popular in like the entirety of the world, but like here in North America, or especially in the U.S., it's such a joke, a yoke, some would say.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I don't know why specifically in North America,
Hmm.
but like I guess for the rest of the world, it's really accessible. I feel like as a sport, like all you need is a ball really, and then just like for nets or whatever, you can just use whatever as like the poles, right? So it's like
Hmm.
just super accessible. So like everyone can get into it, and it's probably why it's super popular. Like if you look at like other sports like hockey or like football, you need so much more equipment. You guys to
Yeah.
like get a competitive game going. But with soccer, like you don't need much. You just need the ball and just yeah, you
Fair.
can get started.
Yeah.
I guess to your point, why North Americans, I guess think it's such a joke. I don't know. I guess like in North America, football is super popular, and it's like very like it's a lot more physical definitely than soccer.
Hmm.
Um, so like when they watch soccer, um, like you see a lot of players diving and stuff, and they like
Yeah.
I guess like overact and like like make just a huge drama out of just like a little touch. So like people think like soccer players are such like babies. So like that's probably why like people don't like soccer as much or like thinks it's a joke because it's not
Hmm.
as intense as something like football.
Hmm. Yeah, I heard in its origins, football and soccer. Okay, this is so confusing. So American football and soccer are were
Yeah,
actually like from the same things. Like that, it was just a team ball sport, and then that evolved into like soccer we know today, which was like use your foot and stuff like that. And then like rugby, which you carry and stuff. And American football was just kind of a deviation from it because like in its original days, all these sports were just being played by like the universities. So like Oxford, Yale, places like these, and then uh, in America, it kind of just the rugby version became more popular, and in the rest of the world, soccer or football, European football. This is so confusing to say because it's such a similar term, but yeah, that became more popular, and then because of that, they just kind of divulged from there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
I didn't know that.
yeah, and this is kind of a uh, side hot take because it's really interesting that you said that accessibility is what makes it so popular. I completely agree with you, and I think that's also why volleyball is so underrated because I feel like volleyball is such a great sport. Like it's I feel like it's a lot more fun to watch than a lot of sports because it's fast paced and like there's always like tension in the game, you know,
Yeah,
and it's really fun to play. I think it's actually like one of the most fun sports to play out of all the sports because there's just so much active time and like you're doing like a lot much more dynamic activities, you know, and
yeah,
yeah. But I think it's really underrated and not that popular because you need like 12 people. Like if you have less players, it feels weird. Like you need a populated uh, group, and you also need like similar skill levels, and you also need like a net and a ball, and like a gymnasium, and you need like decently high ceilings. Like you just need a lot of stuff, right? But for like soccer, yeah, you just need a ball. Like you can use anything else as a substitute.
yeah. I think yeah, I totally agree. Like volleyball, I like got into it recently, but like it's so hard to find like a group to play with because first like you obviously yeah you need that gymnasium and then you need the nets as well, and that's like already such a like high barrier of entry.
Yeah, yeah, it's rough. Wait, what position do you play when you play soccer?
So like in high school, I used to play mainly defense and
Mm-hmm.
like just like the wingback position.
Yeah,
But like obviously like everyone likes to play forward and like the midfield role a little more
true.
because you get to like touch the ball a little more and you're a little more involved. Um, so like yeah, if I'm playing casually, I'll just rather do like play midfield or not really forward, but yeah, probably
Mm,
midfield.
I see. So you're the Asian Van Dyke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Van Dyke is a pretty big guy. I'm not that big of a guy, and I feel like center backs in general need to be like pretty tough and strong.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I want, so for a lot of my viewers aren't that familiar with soccer. All they know is like the face of it, which is basically
Messi and Ronaldo.
Messi and Ronaldo. Exactly. Yeah, that's like the only names they know. So I kind of want to talk about them. So when do you think they will retire?
Uh, I think especially now, like this season, they've definitely been getting injured a lot more. I think they're like 34 and 33
Yeah.
respectively, like Ronaldo and Messi. So I don't see them playing for that much longer. I still think they'll play probably okay. So like I think they'll still play in like a big competition like Premier League, the Liga, or like Serie A, like maybe another 2 years. But after that, I can see them going over to like somewhere that's a little less competitive, like MLS,
China.
and then just or yeah, or China, um, and then just playing out the rest of their careers there. But
Yeah.
at that point, you're basically retired,
True.
in
Fair.
my opinion,
I
anyways.
agree. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I heard something crazy. Like they offered like a Chinese soccer league team. They offered Ronaldo like something crazy, like 40 million euros per week.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
honestly, I believe it. But I think he still wants to be like that competitive player and like
yeah.
still wants to be in this spotlight, I guess. So I guess that's why he probably didn't take it.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, I think so too. Yeah, he's definitely a very driven competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the stories of his parties that he would throw?
Yeah, like you would have to like go work out with him before you eat
Yeah,
dinner, and then dinner is like just chicken and salad or something like that.
yeah,
Something very,
yeah.
very light.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I forget. I was watching a match, and it was one of his old teammates, were one of the commentators, and then he was like, "Yeah, I hate Ronaldo parties, dude. He invite like the teammates or like the boys to his house, and then they would go in the morning or something, and then they would get served drinks by like the butlers, and it'll just be water. And then after they drink their water, he'd be like, "Hey guys, up for a small game of football," and then they would like play like scrims and stuff like that, and then they would eat like chicken and salad for lunch, and then Ronaldo would be like, "Hey guys, up for a few laps of swim in the pool," and then it'd literally just be like a training regimen. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, but like that explains so much, right? Like if
yeah,
you see his body, he's 34 years old and he's fucking shredded. He's
yeah, dude.
so shredded,
He
and
do,
it's
yeah,
like I wish I could look like that when I was if I'm ever like 34. Like it's insane.
yeah. It really is. Yeah, him and LeBron are both like, dude, their bodies are literally sculpted, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, they're insane. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Um, yeah. So once they retire, who do you think is going to be like the face of football in the future?
Uh, right now, I would say Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah,
Um, Kylian Mbappe. Holland is definitely getting up a lot of hype right now, but he's still like really young, so it's hard to tell. But I think probably the number one would be Kylian Mbappe. I don't think anyone like really comes close, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree.
Not until they've proven themselves, anyways.
Hmm.
Like after that, I would say like yeah, Holland, Sancho, uh, Pulisic maybe, but I think that's just because of his recent form. His recent form has been really good.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, Pulisic. Ha, yeah. Honestly, I've become a lot better at pronouncing the Croatian, or is he Croatian? Or like that region
He,
of
yeah,
names.
he's
Yeah,
American, but I think he is definitely like Croatian descent.
yeah,
With
yeah.
that last name, he has to
Yeah, with that
be.
last name, yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so uh, right now we're gonna do a interesting question, which is I want you to build a dream team of current Premier League players. So yeah, so as we discussed, we're gonna have four defenders, four midfield, and two forwards, and one goalkeeper and
Mhm.
one manager. Yeah. So
Okay.
let's go from defenders first. Who do you have as defenders?
Oh, okay. So maybe controversial, but I had Chilwell,
Uh huh.
Virgil van Dijk, Soyeon Chu, I think it's how you pronounce it, and Trent Alexander Arnold.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think that's solid. I think it's interesting you put Van Dyke there. That's a brave choice.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. It's
Oh, okay, true.
yeah. Who do you have at midfield?
I have Mane,
Hmm.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Obviously.
I know he hasn't played a lot. Yeah, obviously. I know he hasn't played a lot this season, but I put Conte and
True, true, true.
Salah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Yeah, yeah. For the audience that don't know and probably doesn't care, I love KDB. Kevin De Bruyne is my favorite player, dude. Dude, he's has everything. He has the athletic ability. He has the vision, and he's handsome as heck. Anyways,
Dude, I think, in my opinion, he's definitely the best player in the Premier League right now.
yeah,
Yeah, he's insane.
he's absolutely nuts. Yeah. All right. Who do you have with forwards?
Okay, I put Aubameyang, and I
Is that how you
really didn't
pronounce
want to
it?
put Vardy. Aubameyang?
Wait,
Yeah,
I've always pronounced this Abumaye.
Aubameyang? I always say Aubameyang. Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Above. Okay, anyway, I put
Abumaye.
Abba. I'm just gonna say Abba. I
Okay,
just put
okay,
Abba
sure.
in. And then I put Vardy in, or Martial.
Hmm.
I think recently Martial has definitely shown a little more consistency and like has been a little more lethal in front of net. But I think Vardy has just overall in the season has been a little more consistent. So I put him in.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I think he's scoring a little less in this like later half of the season because Leicester has been like just so many injuries. So like
Yeah.
I think not many midfielders are the quality of like James Madison um, in the lesser squad. So I think that probably led to him scoring less goals as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. All right, we have as goalkeeper.
Allison,
Oh wow, dude.
yeah,
That's a
I
hot
mean
take.
like yeah.
All right, yeah.
I secondary I would put Berlino in though
Oh
from
really?
Arsenal. I think Ederson only looks good because he's in a good team,
Mm-hmm.
but Leno like Arsenal's defense is like
Yeah.
awful, and he's still been saving a lot. So I think he's a
Yeah, that's
little
true.
underrated.
Yeah, that's true. What about Loris? You don't like Loris?
Um, I feel like he's consistent,
Yeah.
but like he's above average for sure. But I don't know if he's like world class. I think he's getting older, so like
Yeah. True.
he's like kind of falling off. But
Mm-hmm.
I think he's definitely consistent.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put him in. No.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. All right. Who would you put as manager, and why is it Mourinho?
um, dude, if I have to watch another Mourinho game, I would off myself. I put Klopp in. Um,
Yeah.
it was definitely obviously between Klopp and Pep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Klopp has just shown more consistency. Pep, I don't know if it's his squad or if it's his strategy, but I think definitely more recently his team has shown vulnerability, which led to, I guess, unexpected losses, especially to like Arsenal. Like, no one expected City to lose to Arsenal.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, but Arsenal, dude, I feel like Arsenal has some hot days and some very, very, very cold days. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, they're so inconsistent. Like they beat Liverpool and they beat City in the last 2 weeks, which for anyone who doesn't know, they're the best two teams right now in
Yeah.
England, and Arsenal is like mid-table, like 10th,
Yeah.
something somewhere around there. So
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely have hot days and cold days.
Yeah. Do you think Obi is gonna dipset?
um, how old is he now? I think he's like around 30, right?
I have
Um,
no idea actually. Eric
I think
Obi.
he, yeah, I think he's gonna dip. He's
Mhm.
30. He needs to like he he can't wait for Arsenal to rebuild. They're still like I think 2 years out at least in the minimum to become a competitor again. And by that time, Abba's like past his prime, or I would assume he would be past his prime.
Yeah.
Right now, I think he needs to find a team that can like win him trophies. And I don't know what team that would be, but I don't think it's Arsenal.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree. Hmm. That's a pretty solid lineup, I'd say. You think
Yeah.
you think that has what it takes to win the league?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
I'd say
dude.
yeah.
This team,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
But
pretty solid.
I don't know. I don't really like the 4-4-2 formation
Yeah, yeah, it's
in
just
modern
stand.
football,
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, what do
I
you like?
think uh, I think 4-3-3 is probably uh, like a good formation, and I think that's what most teams play now for the
Yeah,
4-3-3.
yeah,
Um, which just means I would get another striker, and then I'd have to kick a midfielder out. But I'm okay with
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 100%. Yeah. All right. So you told me you weren't familiar with the FIFA scandals and their
Yeah.
allegations. No, okay, okay. So, all right, for the audience that doesn't know, I'll just give you a quick summary. So basically, um, especially with the World Cups, uh, the allegations for FIFA are that basically, um, especially for the World Cups, they have a country host it, and then the country has to like pay all the upfront costs and building the stadiums and building all the infrastructure to support it. So prime example was if you guys remember the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, right? There was a lot of protests going on because they would build these like really really fancy stadiums in like slum cities that would play like 4 games, and then after they leave, like nobody's gonna use it. So they would spend taxpayer money to build like basically like fancy monuments that would just go to waste after. And uh, not only would they go to waste, like they would be using taxpayer money to build these, and the revenues from those don't actually go to the country; they go to FIFA. So FIFA would make these countries use taxpayer money to build them. They would get the revenue from the World Cup, and then they would just leave them. And then so the taxpayer wouldn't see anything in return. And and the FIFA will also do a lot of other really really questionable things, I would say. So they would force themselves to um, or force the country to give them tax exemption. They would force them to change laws. Like for example, one of their sponsors was Budweiser, FIFA, and in Brazil, it's illegal to sell alcohol in stadiums, especially in soccer stadiums, because Brazilians go a little crazy for soccer, and they go a little crazy with some alcohol. So it was actually a like um like a civil law, I guess, for to protect like general citizen safety, because they would just go crazy if like their team lost and they're drunk, and they would go outside and just like damage everything, or like start like hitting people and stuff like that, right? And then so that was established in like the early 2000s. And then when FIFA went, because one of their biggest sponsor was Budweiser, uh, they forced the government, and they like bribed them kind of to change it so that they have the right to sell beer in the stadiums for the World Cup. And then and then yeah, so they would another huge part of it is that basically these countries would spend all this money to build this stuff, right? And then there would be like it's clear that they won't make any money of it from it. So like the government officials that bid for the World Cup and that like accept it and go through all this, like there's only one reason they would like do something like that makes no absolutely no sense for them, right? Which basically means that like they're getting bribed, or like they're getting something out of it, right? Or else like there's no way they would just like make these bad decisions like all over the place and build like a stadium in the middle of the slums, right? And spend tens of billions of dollars if they're not gonna see any of it, right? Which means that FIFA is like giving them money under the table, right? And then and then in 2015, uh, which is really funny because the FBI actually launched an investigation against FIFA, which is really funny because I remember watching reading something about it, and it's like it's like as if like Kesha 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 went against like commodities fraud. It's like the country that cares the least about soccer organized a organized a police investigation against like something that like they don't care about. Like even though like every other country like it's like super obvious that FIFA wasn't super super corrupt, but like nobody actually investigated them, and it took the FBI to go and try to like uncover these things. And then so um, they actually a they actually convicted like a bunch of people. They convict in the executives from FIFA. I think this was like back in 2015, and they convicted a bunch of them for bribery and stuff. For bribery, for what are all the crimes? Bribery, for money laundering, and for using coercion and like sending the mafia on people and stuff like that, basically. And yeah, so that happened. And problem now is that in 2022, the bid went to Qatar. That's where it's getting held. And That's a really controversial issue because Qatar is a like is a Middle Eastern country that's on the side of Saudi Arabia, and then um, Qatar during the months of World Cup can reach temperatures up to 50 degrees Celsius. And so like just from like a logical standpoint, like it makes no sense to host a outdoor sport in a place that can't do outdoor sports in the summer, you know? And not only that, but like basically Qatar is um, uses a lot of migrant workers, and they have a lot of let's just say unsafe working conditions, and even in its current preparations for the World Cup, um, there's like an estimated like one worker is dying like more than one worker is dying every single day from just like preparing for the World Cup right now because of like how dangerous they're doing it. And yeah, so basically like it's like really obvious that there's no way that FIFA would choose Qatar out of all the countries that bid it. Like if like there wasn't some like real shady things going on in the background that made them choose it, right? So yeah, yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? I guess that's the story.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I think you're definitely right. There's probably like some under the table money going on, especially with Qatar. Because like the Saudi princes there are hella rich. They're even like looking to buy a club in the Premier League right now, anyways.
Yeah,
So I'm sure it's like chump change for them, honestly. Yeah, I think that's probably what's happening. But as for the outdoor sports thing, I heard they're actually making the stadium so it's all air conditioned.
oh
So
really,
like
dude?
I
That's
that's what I've heard. They're like gonna air condition the whole stadium or something like that, so people don't have to like play in like 50-degree weather, which is honestly also insane. But also, I believe it. I think that's something they could do,
that's
just
pretty
because they
nuts.
have the money. Yeah.
That is pretty
Um,
nuts, dude. How do you air condition a
yeah.
whole stadium? Isn't that impossible?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it might be a closed dome. Maybe it has to be right if they
It
want to
has to
keep all
be.
the cool air in. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things I've heard. But I did also hear that um, is dying. Like basically, one person is dying every day due to the construction.
Yeah.
Uh, because they have like no safety regulations there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for the 2014 World Cup, so like I've heard, so I don't really actually know how the bidding process works. So like the country makes a bid, right? Do they actually like send money to FIFA like here, this is how much we're willing to pay for the World Cup, and then
No,
FIFA
no,
accepts
no.
the bid.
No. Yeah, they just bid, and then like they go through a selection process. Like FIFA goes through a selection process. Like I don't think they try to like give like the player. I mean, it's not that the country that gives the most money. It's not like an auction.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we want to host it, and then they choose,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
yeah, yeah, because all the money goes to actually building the stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then yeah, I also heard like that was also a huge controversy because like you see all these poor people in Brazil like living in slums, and
yeah,
then like basically within those slums there's like this huge new like just big stadium
hmm,
where like you can clearly see like where like the wealth is distributed between like the poor and the rich.
yeah,
And yeah, I heard that was also a controversy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just it's so some of it is just so outrageous. Like for Brazil, they built a I forget it was like one of the minor cities. They built a stadium, and it was so remote that they couldn't bring trucks in. So then they had to they had to ship equipment and ship building materials from Portugal all the way down to Brazil to the village
Okay.
because like the roads weren't good enough, so they had to do it by boat. And then so they have, yeah, they have ships launched from Portugal all the way to like that city. I forget what the city is called. And then they played like 4 games there, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they spent like
yeah, that's
two hundred
crazy.
seventy million dollars or something building it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid. But like, I don't know. I feel like all that revenue goes to FIFA, but there's also like, I guess like tourists that come in to watch the games. Doesn't that go to the country as well,
No, yeah, it
or
doesn't.
does that
So
also go to
yeah,
FIFA? Do
so
you
it
know?
all goes to FIFA. Yeah, so all the revenue goes to FIFA basically, and they're
So
tax
like,
exempt. So the government doesn't get any tax revenue from it because the venues are tax exempt, all their operations are
mhm.
tax exempt. So literally, the country doesn't get anything other than like uh, what's the word? Goodwill or like like national attention from hosting. You know?
Yeah. Wait, so like the tourists that come to watch the games, the hotels they stay in, that also like all that revenue still goes to FIFA?
Oh, I don't think the hotels
Like
are.
the
I don't think the hotels are.
oh, okay, it's just like the venue, like everything, all the money that comes out of the venues
It's
and like
it's like
all that
all their
stuff goes to
operations. So
FIFA.
anything like anything related. So I don't know to what extent. I think if you stay like at an independent hotel, it might not be. But like if it's like a hotel that's like doing like FIFA promotions, that might be controlled under FIFA and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because their
Yeah.
operations are really vast. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's definitely not worth it then.
Yeah, it's definitely no. It's 100% not worth. It's like
Yeah.
almost like the most not worth thing you can ever do in your life. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like charity work without doing anything good, I feel like.
yeah. Yeah, which makes it that much more obvious that there's like shady stuff going on in the background because there's no way that these government officials will just willingly like sack their country like this. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, which brings us to our next topic of conspiracy theories because I feel like in this day and age, right? There's so many corruption or like so many things being aired out, and it's so hard to know whether you are being told the truth or not, right? And whether it's just
Yeah.
somebody operating in the background, operating in the background, and just like you know, like making your life worse. I don't know. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what's your opinion on the influx of conspiracy theories nowadays? Like, there's just so many flat earthers, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think I think for the really outrageous ones, um, I think that it's like just kind of entertaining that
Mm-hmm.
people think they're true, I guess. But ones that are like, I guess, kind of like remote or like close to being true, and they could be, I guess, considered fake news, maybe. I think that's a little dangerous. I feel like that's kind of scary because there's going to be a lot of misinformation going around, and I think that's I like I think people just fear the unknown in general. So like if there's a lot of misinformation going around, I think it's just going to cause a lot of panic within people. So I think that's really dangerous, and I think that's even evident in right now with the whole coronavirus thing and in the U.S. where like people think like masks are dangerous and are like I guess like a danger to their health. So like people are going around not wearing masks, and they're so like convinced that this is true that
Yeah.
like it's just gonna cause I guess the spread of the virus to continue, which is dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Do you think it's the product of the internet?
Uh, I don't think it's the product of the internet. I think the internet, if anything, makes spread of that information more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I think either way, if there was internet or not, I think if there were believers in that, it's gonna get spread. Like if there was internet or not, it's just like the speed of it. I guess is the only thing
Yeah,
that would change.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's a combo of just natural human biases and like the I think the internet definitely magnifies it, right? It's like the purveyor or like the channel
Yeah,
that it's being spread so fast. Yeah, and there's definitely something to be said that, you know, these uh I forget what the term is called, but like these Facebook groups that all these anti-vax moms are in, that is kind
yeah,
of pushing them to the edge and kind of radicalizing a lot of people to thinking that, you know, masks are dangerous and that Bill Gates is looking through your window and using 5G to give you coronavirus. Yeah.
yeah. I honestly, for me, I think they're all pretty stupid. I don't know how someone can believe that. I guess for the mask thing, okay, that's like I'm sure someone can make somewhat of an argument for that, but I think with the 5G thing is so stupid. Like, how can you believe this? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's really really crazy how whack it can get because um yeah it's there's it's like with the 5G you don't even know where to start, like at least with like flat earth and stuff like that, you can kind of imagine like okay, like if you're kind of if you're kind of like not very bright, you know, like the earth seems flat, like this ground is flat, like why is the earth round? That doesn't make any sense. But you know, like with 5G it's like it just doesn't make any sense. Where do you even start with it? I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, because one's a biological virus, and the other is like nothing even remotely related, but
Yeah.
kind of off topic, kind of on topic. But I remember there was an anime that my friend watched where people would kill, uh, people were getting killed because there was a virus sent through your phones, and it was like some biological virus that could somehow travel to the
Uh-huh.
phones. So I'm thinking, someone thought that was a good idea for anime. So maybe I can see why some people somehow believe this, even though it's absolutely ridiculous and makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I honestly I think it's actually just super interesting how our brains work because our brains are just like this huge um, rationalizer, like, and we're really bad with coincidences. Okay, to give an example, right? So for the audience that are listening, right? So this is kind of a thought experiment. So if I give you a lottery ticket, and the lottery ticket's number was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You would think that that lottery ticket has no chance of winning at all, right? Like there's no way there's ever gonna be like a lottery selection and the numbers that pop out are gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But like actually like that has the exact same chance as any other random set of numbers, right?
Right.
But somehow when you see a random set of numbers you think that has a you're like, oh, there's a chance to win, but when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you think there's like just no chance to win, you know? But it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense because like they have the exact same chance, right? And so our brains are actually not very good with explaining stuff with coincidence. Like our brains just don't like coincidence. And it turns out conspiracy theories are basically just a bunch of like really really weak arguments strapped on together, and there's just so many that our brain goes like it can't just be coincidence, and that's how they evolve. That's really how it is. And I don't know. I find that really interesting because um, it's just so crazy how your brain is able to just rationalize things out of um, and you have no like you have no control over it. Like you completely believe it because it's just operating in the background. It thinks of a rationality for you, and then because you think it comes from you, like you just believe it. Like, yeah, that's definitely real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think definitely with like conspiracy theories and just fake news, I think they're like remotely related, honestly. I think people just play to that part of your brain where you rationalize things,
Yeah,
um, where they get a bunch of weak arguments to fit the narrative, I guess, and then
yeah,
like people just start believing it without, I guess, double checking their facts and just get
yeah,
spread. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, have you ever heard of the bullshit asymmetry principle?
Uh, no, but I feel like I can guess what it is.
Can you
But yeah,
guess what
you
it
tell
is?
me.
No, no, try to guess.
Okay, okay, I feel like it's when someone says a bunch of bullshit that obviously just doesn't make sense or isn't like actually coherent, but because it's so incoherent, get confused, and I guess they end up believing it because they think, oh, this sounds pretty legit, sounds pretty smart.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Is
Basically,
that
yes. That's
close?
basically um I think the definition is like the necessary amount of energy to refute bullshit is a order of magnitude greater than the energy to produce it.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting principle, I guess. Yeah. It's have you ever fell victim to a conspiracy theory?
um. Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
well, it's not really conspiracy theory. I think it's just like fake news and misinformation. But like, I
Mhm.
went to the U.S. Like basically when coronavirus was at its height,
Yeah.
or like fear was growing. So like racism already is already a problem in the U.S. But as an Asian, going to America when the fear of coronavirus was going around, you could visibly see like people treated you differently.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's because there was misinformation going around that yeah, Chinese have the coronavirus, and like I guess to Americans, they really can't tell. I mean, like for most people, they can't really tell the difference between Asians, between Koreans, Japanese, and Chinese. So like you're all kind of grouped up into like Asians, and then
Hmm.
like they'll just treat you differently based on your looks.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I think. Yeah. I think it's definitely not great that there's so much misinformation going around. Yeah. And it seems kind of um, sad in a way with how our culture is headed because it just seems like there is more and more misinformation and it just like there's no good solution to like kill it, I guess, because
Yeah,
like there's because with more information and with more channels of accessing, people just are gravitated towards like headlines and are gravitated towards like stuff that are eye catching and stuff like that. And you know,
yeah,
like
it's all about clickbait.
yeah, it really is. And most of the time, the truth is pretty boring. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to somehow make it like super controversial to like make it sexy for the general public, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think you're right. The truth is, most of the time, just very boring.
Yeah. Yeah, and you really need a spectacle to catch people eyes these days, I guess. It's also, it's like why TikTok is popular, you know? Like, hey, nobody got time to watch a full length video. Now we only do 20 seconds or 10
Yeah,
seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's just like you need to keep because like the human attention span is so short, right? I think it's like you have it for like 3 to 5 seconds or something like that. So you need to like create content or like style content that can like catch that person's attention within that time.
Yeah.
It's yeah, which just ends up being like sexy, controversial head titles,
Yeah.
which most of the time aren't, I guess, like they over exaggerate the fact or the truth.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and the truth is not only more boring most of the time, it's also a lot more nuanced. And so
Yeah,
yeah, and so And so having a long discussion is just going to be, drowned out by TikTok dancers. Yo, honestly, okay, this not that related, but actually something that really piques my interest is I really wonder like what becoming TikTok famous does to your brain, especially like because or to kids mostly because like there's like TikTok famous people that are like 14-year-old and they're like dancing on TikTok. I really wonder what that does to your brain.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like there's so many more channels now to get that to become viral and become famous, I guess.
Yeah.
Like everyone's doing it, I feel like. Everyone's on TikTok, everyone's trying to stream on Twitch or do YouTube. Um, but I personally, in my opinion, don't think it's good. I think if they do become viral, I guess, I guess they it could be considered an achievement. But then I feel like they would kind of put that achievement on a pedestal, and it wouldn't really like once they lose that, like once they aren't viral anymore. I feel like that would be such a hard thing to deal with, especially for a developing brain. They like don't have the maturity to like deal with that kind of failure or like having something like that big taken away from them.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like a lot of kids will probably be distraught, I guess, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think being famous when you're young is just so weird. It's just so weird. Like it's just not the normal human experience at all. It's like I think a good example is like what happened to Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like on top of the world when he was like 14, right?
Yeah.
And he's from like Stratford, like that's a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah. And I guess like even just other child actors, if you look at them, I guess what it does to their brain is like they think they're king of the world and they get so arrogant and like just cocky. So
mhm.
like, but then like you can see the fall from grace as well. Like I forget the kid from Home Alone, that guy, the child actor. You can see like he was a mess. I guess like a few years later. So
Yeah, yeah, and like yeah, what's his name again? The guy from Home Alone.
uh, yeah, I have no idea. It's like
Yeah,
McCollum or
McCollum,
something.
McCollum,
That's
yeah,
his last name,
McCollum. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
McCollum. Yeah, yeah. It's really weird. Yeah. And my chat
On
is
that one,
saying
yeah.
we're jealous of young successful people. Okay, that's not the point. Even though we are,
I
but like,
mean,
hey,
yeah, sure. If I was making six figures or like seven figures when I was a kid, yo, great. But my ego would be so huge, dude. I
yeah,
would hate to be the parents of that kid. I would be so pissed. They would
yeah,
just be so bratty every like 24/7.
you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely comes with a very different set of problems that most people face. Yeah, and yeah,
yeah,
I don't think we're shitting on them. Like first off, I'm saying yo, kudos to them, dude. Like, hey, you get that cash, and like I'm just saying,
yeah,
we're just more like what's the word? Empathizing with their problems. I think that's
yeah. Dude, what the heck? Why would anyone not be jealous of them? They're making mad cash when they're like before even they hit double digits in their age. Like
yeah,
what? But like also at the same time, I feel like their maturity isn't really there. I don't know to like
yeah,
handle that kind of success.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just so weird because man, I honestly sometimes I kind of want to be famous, not because like I want like the okay this sounds so weird, but sometimes I just want to know what it feels like to be hated on, you know? Like what it feels like to receive so much attention and get like 95% like love and support and then 5% like people who want to murder you, you know? Like like they're
Yeah.
they're calling they're calling you in the middle of the night from an unknown number, and you have no idea how they got your number, and then they send you a mail, it's a letter in the mail, and it's like it has your address on it, and it has a drawing of like your kitchen, and you don't know how they know, but they somehow do, and it's just so creepy. You know what I mean? And then there's like other people just like
Yeah.
DMing you on Twitter, telling you like, I hope you die. Like, you're the worst. You're the worst person ever that has ever lived. Like, please go kill yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm not
Yeah.
saying I want that. Okay, I guess I kind of am saying I want that. I know I want
You
I
just want to
want.
know how it feels.
Yeah, that's fun how it feels. Like
You just want to know. Yeah.
I really want. I'm so curious, dude. It's just such a unique experience. You know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, dude, once your podcast gets big enough, I'm sure someone in the Midwest of US is going to listen to this episode and how we shit on them for being idiots for believing all those conspiracy
Oh
theories, and
my
they'll be
god,
sliding into your DMs, dude. They'll be like, "Yo, you're a fucking idiot. Don't say that. You're
dude.
just a sheeple."
Dude, I'm gonna get called a sheeple. Dude. Dude, there's gonna be a flat earther. They're gonna email me a very strongly worded email.
Yeah,
Man.
probably very racist remarks every
Yeah.
other sentence.
Yeah, he's gonna accuse me of spreading the kung flu.
Oh yeah, dude, you're gonna get so much hate mail. You can
Man.
finally live out that experience.
Yeah, see, that's the thing though. Like, I want to experience it, and I want to like close it down the next
Cut it
day.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I pack it up. I know how it feels now. Like, let's stop this. But
we're
you
good.
know, when you
Yeah,
when you are up there, like, it's not that easy getting down. I guess. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely strange. Yeah, I this might be kind of a side, but I I really wonder what it's like to be a BTS member. You know, because not only are you getting what I just described, you're getting that on like a 40x hard mode. You know,
Yeah.
like the people that love you, like, dude, they wanna like rub your bathwater on on their cheeks. You know, like dude,
Yep.
they want you to like. Okay, I'm not gonna say too many graphical things, but you know, like they really really love you. You know, and
Yeah, dude. Could you imagine? Dude, that could be a huge marketing stunt. You know how Delphine is like selling her bathwater?
yeah,
BTS branded bathwater, dude. That stuff would sell so fast. But
dude,
like, I guess also like, it's like I feel like that's a famous like two-sided coin. You have like immense amount of hate, but you also have the other side, which is like the immense amount of love. But like that immense amount of love, like some people are extreme, right?
yeah, no, it's
Like
too.
stalker level extreme. That would be
Yeah,
scary too. I feel like.
yeah. I remember one of my friends telling me that like um they can't even fly on planes no matter how much they hide it. They can only fly private charter because somehow there's always people that find out like their flight and they buy like all the seats next to them.
What the? Wait, is your friend like famous?
No, no, no,
Or wait, or just like
no, no,
just
no.
someone
Yeah, someone
famous?
they told me that this happens, like
Oh, okay.
that people just find out what flight they're taking. Like they like do some like intense research. Like, oh, their schedule is like they have to fly to Jakarta on Tuesday, so that means that they have to fly on Monday, and if their last concert was in Singapore, that means that they can only take this flight M720 to Jakarta at 3 a.m. Okay, I'm gonna buy all the first class tickets beside them, and it's like,
Yo,
yeah,
Jesus. I mean, I feel like they have a bright future in front of them. Aside if they ever get over their fangirling phase,
oh
they got a
yeah.
bright future of them in like in the FBI or something or the CIA.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I heard the people that killed Osama bin Laden. They were all They were
BTS
all,
stands.
yeah, they were all one. No, they were all One Direction fans. That's how they
Oh,
got
true,
recruited.
true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. They somebody found them in the hotel room next to what's his name? Liam. Is it Liam?
Liam, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they found them.
Liam's one of them.
Yeah, they found them in the hotel room next to Liam. They were like, "Hey, we want your skills." Yeah, it's dude, it's so weird. Yeah, it's like you probably sell like the toilet paper that Jungkook wiped his ass on eBay. You probably get like $1 million. Like no joke,
Dude, you
bro.
would make so much. But like, it's we joke about this, but it's so real too. Because like, I remember seeing like eBay postings of like empty jars saying like air from a BTS concert, and like people would like bid on that shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's nuts, man. I'm actually super curious on what it's like. Just for a day. Don't want any more
Yeah,
of that, but just for
just
a
for a
day.
day.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think? What do you think of the more traditional conspiracy theories before this new wave of um, idiocy came about? Like the Illuminati's, the 2001 was a inside job.
9/11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an inside job. The
Um. Uh. I don't. Okay, so the 2001 thing, I don't really know. It's like jet fuels can't melt. Like as much as that's a meme, jet fuels can't melt steel beams. I don't actually know what the melting point. I'm sure people have tried like tested all that, and I
yeah.
think there's been like a lot of videos of saying like jet fuels can't melt steel beams. Which is why I think that whole conspiracy thing theory like I guess began. But yeah, I have no idea. I feel like those are not those are like within the realm of like believable, right?
Hmm.
Whereas like the new ones are like pretty stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I honestly kind of believed the meme when it first came out because I remember I watched a video and then it was describing how like the planes hit the top, right? So like let's say this tissue box was
Yeah.
the building, right? And the plane hit here, and then the building collapsed, right? Which doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense because like you took a Jenga tower or something and then you like hit it on sideways, like it would just like flop, right? But what happened was that it just like
Yeah.
collapsed on itself. So people were saying like there were explosives like all around, like a demolition, and then when the plane hit, like they triggered the demolition, and then that's how it collapsed. Because it doesn't make any sense that like it just didn't
It
topple, it
doesn't
went down.
topple over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, true. That is so true. Like Jeff Yules can't melt
Yeah.
steel beams. But yeah. And have you heard the Illuminati conspiracies where it's like basically the Illuminati, which is like the pyramid with the eye, and that's like a secret
Yeah.
organization running the world, and they have bases all around the world, and like there's like all the notable people that you know are actually just like secret like figureheads, and there's just
Yeah.
people controlling them, and and then so the 5G stuff actually originated from the fact that Bill Gates is actually the head of the North America division, and Warren Buffett is his right wing man, and
Oh my.
oh my god, dude, the Warren Buffett stuff is so funny. So Warren Buffett is actually the drug lord of the world. He actually controls every drug trade in the entirety of the globe, and that's where he amasses his fortune. And it's just so funny because like Warren Buffett's day to day life is just like so mundane. Like, have you ever heard of? Okay, so for the audience doesn't know, Warren Buffett is like a very successful investor. He's like the most. He's like the richest investor, and he's the president
Yeah.
and major shareholder of Berkshire Hathaway, which is a company, and they're they've made the most money from investing. He's like the guru of it all, I guess. and
Yeah.
and he lives a very very normal life to say. Have you ever heard of his diet?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, so okay, it's actually so ridiculous. So this man has like a $50 billion fortune. Guess what he eats? He every single morning he goes to a McDonald's drive-thru and he either has a egg McMuffin, he has a I think it's a mosquito. I forget what they have in the U.S. But it's like one of the three breakfast menu items. He has that every single day, and he has been going to a McDonald's drive-thru for the last 5 decades.
What
Like every single morning on his work days. That's his breakfast, and he drinks 5 cans of Coke every single day.
the f- I don't understand how he's not dead yet.
Yo,
I
yeah,
feel like that's
he's
not a healthy diet.
it is not. It's absolutely nuts. He's like almost 90 now. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
almost
he's
90
really
now.
old.
Yeah, and he every single no, I don't think every single lunch, but he literally has burgers and fries like almost every day for his meals, and he just lives in a very normal like 90s Midwestern house, you know.
Like it's
And
not a mansion. It's like a
yeah, no, it's
normal
yeah, it's just lives in a normal house in Omaha, like
wherever that is. Yeah.
Nebraska, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. Like, dude, the man is chilling. Like, yeah, and and he's pretty transparent too. Like he like you can literally like track him down because he just does the same thing every single day. He like literally goes to work. He drives to McDonald's drive-through. Like everybody knows him. Oh, and he also goes to Dairy Queen all the time. Especially there was this one. There's this one. Like these bunch of traders. They would trade on Berkshire Hathaway. And if he goes to Dairy Queen and he looks like he's smiling and he's like he buys a lot, that means it's a good day. And then so you would buy Berkshire Hathaway stock. And if he doesn't, then you would
Oh
sell
my.
it. And dude, this is so funny. Yeah, and so that would be their trading strategy. And so and that just like kind of like shows you like how transparent he is. And like he doesn't give a fuck. He's literally just
Yeah.
chilling. And yeah,
I
so
feel like
yeah. Sorry?
no. I was just gonna say. I feel like though that is one of those things that are like you just can't believe that. I feel like a conspiracy theorist could like make something out of it. Like it's so
Yeah.
normal that no one would expect him to actually be a drug lord or whatever, which is why I guess like someone could think to create that up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's just so funny though. Like the
Yeah.
amount of the amount of like just stuff they can make up for these people. I don't know. It's yeah. When I read that he was like the drug lord, and every single night he just like he just goes home and fucks bitches, and takes his life serum like from like
Life serum.
yeah like he drinks blood from like youth to keep his youth because like drinking the 5 cokes does a number on his body, so he has to like
Yeah.
be a vampire. Dude, it's just so funny, dude. Oh my goodness. Wake up, sheeple, dude. Wake up. This is the truth. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the what was that? Princess Diana?
Uh, ye- I feel like there was a conspiracy theory around that, but I've never actually looked into it or like heard it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one is weird because basically, okay. So for the audience that doesn't know, Princess Diana was a royalty, and what happened was, so she was a kind of a rebel in the family, and she was like a bad mofo, some would say, right? Badass mofo, and she would do a lot of charity work. She would do like basically a lot of like I don't know like good deeds, and she would like speak out against like people she didn't like basically like a like a solid gal, some would say, you know, and and people would speculate that like the royal family weren't too happy with her because she was so out there. And one time she had a lover from another country or something that wasn't royalty or I think I might be getting these facts wrong. I'm not too sure on those. But basically what happened was, so one night she was leaving the hotel with her usual cabbie, and then they went into a tunnel, and then they didn't come out. And then basically what happened was that wait, did it disappear? But basically there was like 21 cameras inside the tunnel, inside the tunnel, and somehow every single camera was like like they did maintenance or something, and then they changed the camera angle so that the one place where they disappeared was a blind spot.
Wait, I thought she died in a car crash though.
Yeah. She did that in car crash.
Okay,
Yeah, but like
but like,
yeah, so like I don't think they ever confirmed that it was if it actually was them. I think they confirmed it was Princess Diana, but the cabbie wasn't. Like they couldn't
okay,
confirm the cabbie. Basically, it was likely to disappear, but it was likely to disappear, but like it got reported as a car crash because they found like the car and stuff destroyed, right?
mm,
Yeah, but
okay,
like nobody can confirm whether it was a car crash because basically like there was 21 cameras in the tunnel, and like they crashed like at a spot where like it wasn't pointed at, even though like it
right,
captured every other angle there was. So there was like
yeah,
like somebody changed the camera angles for maintenance or something, and then the one spot that wasn't captured like was where they crashed, and so people think that like she got murder pranked, you know?
murder front.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think? Do you think she was murdered?
uh, I don't know, dude. My brain's rationalizing it, and it
Yeah.
seems like it's. I feel like it's trying to rationalize a coincidence. But yeah, I don't know. I I actually never heard about the lover part.
Uh
I
huh.
just heard there was like she died in a car crash, and it was like her family like out to get her because
Yeah.
like they were not happy with like her. Yeah, like with her.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't want to speak on this topic. I feel like I'm gonna get assassinated myself. But
You're right.
uh, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these conspiracy theories around like politicians is so touchy because like half the people believe it and half the people think it's like untrue and insensitive, I guess. But I don't know. I did not look into this too much.
True.
I'll say
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. So you were telling me before about the furniture conspiracy.
Oh
What was it?
yeah. Um. So Wayfair apparently like had a whole conspiracy theory thing going on around them recently, where they were selling like products on their site for like tens of thousands of dollars, and they were named after children. And you could find the exact same looking one for a lot cheaper price point, like a normal price point. And the conspiracy theory was that the ones that were named after child or children, like those models, they were actually selling kidnapped children, and it was just like a human trafficking front. Um, and like a bunch of people were saying this is true because like if you match up the names of these like expensive products, they match up with the names of all these kidnapped children. Um, and also apparently there's like people said that the product code, um, like the product ID or code or whatever, if you search that up somewhere on some like Russian site, apparently, the names or like the names of the kidnapped children would show up under those product codes. So like people were like freaking out saying this was actually all like human trafficking front. Um, there was a whole Reddit thread about it. They had all the links too, but I'm not going to click on some sketchy Russian link.
Dude,
So
that's
I
nuts.
just I just left it to the Reddit detectives.
Dude, that's crazy, dude.
Uh, but like, so like I know someone who works at Wayfair, and she told me that this is actually all stupid because apparently, first of all, Wayfair isn't the one who posts these products. It's like apparently the manufacturers who actually post these products, and also like they can put any price point they want on it, just as temporarily like super high, just so people won't actually buy it. And then
Yeah,
they just did that as a. And she told me like they probably just put it up as a test,
yeah,
but the naming thing is obviously a little suspicious and all that. But I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of back to what we're talking about, where it's like conspiracy theories are just a bunch of like weird coincidences or like weird arguments that are not that strong by itself, but there's just like there's a bunch, and you're like, hey, there's something here, bro. Like it can't be just coincidence.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think it's super cool or interesting at least, because I feel like it's
yeah,
a yeah, it's it definitely shows how our brains work.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird. I mean, if any of the conspiracy theories are true, honestly, kind of scary.
I agree. I agree. Do you think there's any? Maybe this also a bias, but with so many conspiracy theories, there must be at least one that is true, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the chances can't be zero, right? There's always some chance that it's one of them must be true, I feel like.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think one of them has to be true. I feel
yeah,
like it's the same thing with like the whole life outside of Earth thing. Like there has to be some percentage where that's true. There has to be some sort of life form, I guess, outside of Earth.
yeah. Although those chances are a little bit higher, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I, Ah, oh my goodness. What have you heard of, do you know what the Zodiac Killer is?
Uh, I've heard of him. I think he specifically killed people with like specific zodiacs, right? Or like
I don't
did
know.
he? Okay, I don't really watch like true crime podcasts that much, but I
Yeah,
definitely
same.
heard of him within like
Yeah, same.
yeah.
I just know the meme where like people kept calling what's his name? Like there's this one US politician that people kept calling the Zodiac Killer for memes or
Really?
stuff. I forget, yeah. Anyways, yeah. But man, I feel like these basically I feel like these these conspiracy theories are just so funny in a lot of circumstances, but yeah, as you said, I feel like they can be kind of dangerous when there's just too many and people actually take them seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is kind of a sharp turn, but there's one question I kind of want to ask about soccer was, uh, like, hey, it's kind of open question, but
Hey,
like
we've come full
we
circle,
come
right?
full circle.
It's a full
Exactly,
circle thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think of female soccer?
What do I think about it? I
Yeah,
don't watch it, so I don't really have an opinion.
true.
If you're specifically asking about like the pay gap thing, that's like obviously a hot topic and
Oh yeah,
issue.
yeah, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's where you're leading the discussion, but I think obviously it sucks that women player are like being paid less, but like I feel like economically, it's
Mhm.
not actually possible for them to be paid more because it doesn't draw um, like the attention of male soccer, right? It's like supply and demand. If the demand isn't there,
Mhm.
like you can't really have a good supply or like
Yeah,
give them that money. Yeah.
yeah. Well, why do you think there's no demand?
Um. Okay. So I think athletically and physically, I think men's games are more intense, which end up leading to, I guess, more drama and then more, I guess, entertaining games.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's probably why um, people don't watch women's games a lot or as much as men's. And I
Okay.
think it's like part of it is obviously biological, where men will be stronger and more physical than women games. But I think the other side of it is also like maybe as a society, we don't really. I think there's still a line of thinking where like as a society, we don't think women should be like in I don't know in that same light as men. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of conservative thinking where women should be like the mothers or the teachers or like the house
Yeah,
takers or
fair,
like a
fair.
more caring role, I guess, right? So I
Yeah,
think
fair.
there's less publicity around that too.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the heads of the federations and stuff like that. This is okay. This is really bad, but basically, one of the president of FIFA that got convicted, his name was Battler, I think, Sepp Battler,
Mm-hmm.
and which is really a very suspicious name if your name is Sepp Battler, and then basically one time somebody asked him how like FIFA wants to like promote women's soccer and like how they can promote it. And then you know what he replied? He said maybe they can wear shorter shorts.
Shorter shorts? Is that what he said?
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah, that was so bad.
Oh,
Which is
oh my god.
yeah, which is
But
good.
yeah, like that's obviously like I feel like an evidence of that like archaic thinking. Like I think it's still like deeply rooted, which is
Yeah,
why people don't really watch women's soccer. Yeah.
fair, fair, fair. All right. Uh, I think we've produced enough content to get me canceled for a few decades.
Yeah.
It was honestly a really fun episode. Thank you for coming on, Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It
No
was a good
worries. Yeah,
time.
this was a good time. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. This concludes the ninth episode of Friendly Banter. Tuning next week for another one. All right. Peace.